All right, so here we are. Here is the trapdoor leading up to the attic. You had pulled one of the footlockers out into the hallway. Seth is standing on it and hacking away with his hand axe, as Gemma stands beneath, and then Octavia stands a little further down the hallway. Now, so Trip and Douglas, all Madame Belasco and all the kids, including the cook, have been ushered out through the back doors and outside. You have heard all the antics and noise coming from upstairs, so what do you guys wish to do?
I think on the way out, she said, where's Felix, if you recall?
Yeah, the one kid had gone missing.
Yeah, so that's right. Madame Belasco was kind of head counting and realized that one of the kids is missing.
Yeah, so I think Douglas would want to try to find this child if she's still there to ask more questions about what he looks like. Or
she was outside.
Okay.
Actually, the cook is still inside.
Okay,
she's still right here next to you.
Douglas is gonna try to find who Felix is and find him. Do we know because usually the kids interact with the kids, so do we know who Felix is yet, or do I not know who that is?
He's the dark looking kid. Kind of spooky. He's got
the spooky
dark
one.
Hair, dark features, but then very pasty skin and.
Yeah, he kind of came in, and all the other kids stopped, and then he went and sat in this corner chair here, and kept himself to himself, and none of the other kids interacted with him. That's really the only odd thing that happened. And then when the kids talked to him, I know Octavius, I think, talked to him. Mm-hmm. He pointed out that some of the kids got really upset when one of the other kids had died. And he didn't think it was such a big deal. There wasn't even that much blood, and he saw far worse when whatever happened to his parents happened. So, if nothing else, it was fair to assume the kid was clearly suffering from some kind of trauma.
So, if there's trouble, he might be seeking it out because he might have a weird, morbid
curiosity with it. Yeah. Okay.
Just like a weird trauma response. We should probably search the base floor and then go up.
Yes.
I also want to check on the kid who's having coma seizures frequently.
Yeah, I was also going to ask about the one in the bedroom that we left in there. I assume
you did before you guys recongregated with the cook. You did check on.
I ran in and checked on him real quick just to make sure he wasn't floating out of the bed or something. But
Right.
Yeah. You went in there and checked on him, and he was still kind of laying in his bed, just sweating profusely and looking very weak and pale.
Okay. Yeah, so I think we're going to search then maybe for... I mean, that's what Doug would want to do. I don't know what Trip...
Yeah, Trip would immediately want to open the one door he hasn't opened yet.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just going to keep following along.
Yet.
Trying to find.
Okay.
See if
so you're going to burst open that door. Surprisingly enough, it's another bedroom.
Whoa.
I know, right? There's bedrooms everywhere. I guess that's, orphanage stuff. This bedroom, however, the bed is covered with a crocheted quilt, and a framed doily hangs on the wall. This room feels less looking around the paraphernalia. This room feels less childlike and more adult.
No, so the cook's room probably.
Yeah, are we to assume that maybe that's the case since it's near the kitchen?
I'm gonna go ahead and just get down and look under the bed, see if the kid's hiding there.
There is no child. However, what you do find is a kind of a wooden crate without the lid on it has been slid underneath. It barely fits, so it's kind of pretty snug from the floor to the base of the bed.
Given the way we've been investigating everything as a troop with the kids, I think it's fair to say Trip is going to pull it out and look inside, just because he can't help himself.
Okay. There is a pretty decent selection of herbs and spices and sauces in there.
just fancy stuff. Nice. I'm not going to pocket any of that because that would change my alignment. So I'm just going to slide it back under the bed and just do a quick check in the closet, make sure.
Okay. Fairly frumpy, kind of mundane clothing, spare aprons, things like
hands
that.
like reaching out and clapping or anything.
No.
Okay.
But it is enough to probably reaffirm to you, seeing as there are only 2 adults that you've really found here, you know where Madame Belasco's bedroom is. Pretty good odds that this is probably indeed Cookie's room. Okay.
Next suspicion is he would be spying on the kid who is, dying.
Okay. The kid is, as I said, nothing is happening to the kid other than his quiet, incessant, low murmurs. Okay, well, while you guys are doing that, we're going back upstairs then. Okay, Douglas, by now, you have... Seth, sorry. By now, you have busted through in and around the lock area. And as you kind of yank and pull some of the busted wood, there's something else wooden that's kind of on top of it. So clearly something very large, wooden and heavy has been positioned over the top of the trapdoor, but obviously from above.
And is it wedged in such a way that if I continue to dismantle the trapdoor, it'll just fall on my face? Or is that something I have to worry about? As I'm dismantling
it's probably larger than the trapdoor itself, as you at a guess.
So with sawdust and wood splinters on my face and
not enough to cause you any problems. It's just sure. you're just probably grabbing at pieces and busting them free as you hack your way through.
I'm gonna look down to Gemma and be like, there's some. You see, look, there's something else. I can't. It's on top of the trapdoor, and I can't.
What? You can't just lift it up.
I tried that. It didn't work. The momentum wasn't there with the height. Is there anything you can do? Destroy it, maybe splinter it, move it.
Let me check my spell books. I literally pull out a book
And start pouring through them.
What can we do? What can we do? I can blast it.
Yeah, do it. I'm gonna hop down and.
What, really? I was just joking.
What? I'm not your father. Blast it.
Are you serious? That does. But what if it's important? Whatever's on top. What if it's a person?
Well, if it was important, it wouldn't be on top of a trapdoor. So, Mm-hmm. Are you afraid?
It just seems odd. Fine. Dad's not here. And I'm gonna throw a magic missile towards it.
Okay.
I'm like, okay. See a ball of purple magic and trails of the black mist kind of shoot through up into the trapdoor in the area that Seth was pointing to.
Alrighty. Give me some damage.
Okay.
Okay, 13.
Damn.
And you're magic missiles that are kind of darkened in color over time and leaving kind of a strange black entrail of mist behind them slam into whatever it is. There's some gratifying cracks as wood splinters. Whatever it was clearly is movable because the impact kind of made it go and lift up. It comes crashing back down into place, although slightly off-center, to where you can now see that there is room to kind of get fingers or something underneath and maybe slide it across. The bottom of whatever it was is busted and kind of cracked and broken. There are pieces of fabric and cloth kind of poking out through the cracks in the damaged wood above.
Okay.
I need you to promise my dad that you won't tell him I did this, please.
I'm absolutely gonna tell him.
No.
Right, Octavius. Right. Yeah.
Uh,
Get your sister in trouble. No.
it's not funny.
What? Yes, of course. Why
It's
wouldn't
not
we?
funny, and I'm gonna be real mad if you do it.
Oh,
me
yeah.
to do
All
it.
right. So I'm gonna take my my hand axe and using the flat end, I'm gonna try to put it in to use as a way to push it with the handle. Right.
Okay, yeah. I mean,
Get it off.
with the leverage of the hand axe versus the leverage of the side of the thing, you'll definitely be able to move it about another 3 or 4 inches, enough to give you some reasonable amounts of purchase behind it with your hands.
Yeah. So that's what I'm gonna just use the rest of my time to.
At this point, it's fairly easy to see that it is in fact a large kind of trunk or chest that somebody pushed into place.
Okay. So I'm gonna use the rest of my to move it free and clear of the trapdoors entirely.
Okay. So you grab hold of it and shh.
Yep.
Give me a strength test, please.
Oh, I failed the last one I did.
You got this one.
I better, There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a big strong boy being big and strong.
And we're going to oppose that. Okay. You hear a voice go, "No!" And you hear somebody trying to resist and strain against you, but they have clearly no strength in comparison to yours, as despite their efforts, you start to push, and then eventually, clearly they decide to let go because it suddenly slides a little easier. And now there's room for you to kind of maybe grab hold of the sides and pull yourself up.
I'm not going to do that immediately. I'm just going to look into the blackness and be of above me. Who was that who said no? We're worried about you.
Okay. It's not that dark upstairs.
Okay.
It's early evening, and there's still some light shining through a window, clearly illuminating the room above. It's dim, but it's not black. You can kind of see the ceiling and the sides of the room itself.
Okay.
Okay, while that is transpiring, back downstairs, what are we doing? What are we doing today, Trip and Douglas? So, Trip, are you wanting to just stay in this room and...
No, I was going to do another quick glance under the tables and chairs, and I don't want to get too close to the bed because it reeks, but
While he's doing that, I'm going to check the kitchen just to see. I'm just going to try any room to see if I can find him.
Okay. Yeah, you kind of squiz around in the kitchen. No sign of him.
Then I'll move on to...
Yep. And Milavash, who is the kid the young man, I guess, really, in the bed, is, as I said, he is still doing little to nothing. Okay.
Yeah.
After checking the kitchen, then, Douglas,
Yeah.
Yep, you move your way into the hallway.
Yep.
Obviously, again, at the top of the stairs, you can hear quite the commotion.
That's fine. I'm still trying to find
So you-
him, so I'm going to check her room, I guess, and see if under the bed. And
Okay. You check around her
He looks-
bedroom. No
well-
signs of him.
And in this little room here.
Check the bathroom. He's not there.
All right.
It looks like Seth went and checked her study.
Okay.
Because it's the first time that you've been in the study without her being there. You still see Mr. Whippy poised and positioned firmly over top of the fireplace.
I'm gonna run in
Trip
there.
is going to have a moment, just
That's
kind of
fine,
look at it and be like, I don't think they have horses here. Completely unaware, because, he
Trip's
wasn't
not
hit
very
as a kid.
aware of the whole conversation
Yeah.
about
You
Mr.
don't know about Mr.
Whippy.
And he's never been hit as a kid. He doesn't even know the concept because
Yeah, why would that even be there?
he doesn't understand it at all. He's just like, huh.
Maybe it belongs to the
it-
cook. She uses it to whisk cakes
Do
and
you think?
stuff.
Do you think maybe they have stables in the back? Then maybe he'd be back there.
Maybe, or I don't know what's going on upstairs. I don't know if you can hear all that.
Yeah. He's not down here. We're gonna run up the stairs.
Let's go. That'll be
Okay. In that case, let me just drag you guys. There you go. Alright. Yeah, as you emerge to the top of the stairs, you can see the rest of your family. I would think the chances are that the pup has probably followed you as well.
Yes, fine.
Yeah, so you can see that there is shards of broken wood laying on the floor. Seth is standing on a large footlocker and pulling apart pieces of broken wood to a somewhat busted and damaged ceiling trapdoor above him.
What's going on? Did you find Felix?
We found someone.
It's got to be him. He's got to be up there. We got to get him out of here.
Well, he put a thing in front of the trapdoor to stop us from going up.
Well,
so
we can go up now, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, go get him.
No
He's
one
probably
blasted.
just really scared.
No one blasted the door open, by the way. We found it like that. We found it like this. It was like this before.
It's shards of wood everywhere. We were just up here.
Yes, it was
you haven't
a
seen it, but
debacle.
sometimes when Seth looks at things, they just shatter. It's bizarre.
Yes, it was all Seth's strong man hands.
Okay.
And-
I'm still holding the hand axe, so probably.
I can see that, everyone. He's got an axe. That's fine. We're trying to save a child here.
And I'm gonna give Gemma a little elbow and be like,
I got you.
If he's scared, maybe I should be the one to go be the first he sees.
Okay.
Oh, a joke. Yeah.
Are you?
I don't know if he's gonna want to see me either. Does he like any of you kids? Did you hang out with him during your recon mission?
How about Gemma? She's
I was gonna say Octavius had the most words with him.
It's true.
I guess that's true.
all right. Well, I can hoist you up. So
Hoist him up?
Can I help lift you up?
Thanks, guys.
Okay, so you guys are going to lift Gemma up into
I try not to.
Me?
whoever's
no,
coming.
Octavius is going
Yeah.
up there.
Okay, Octavius, fine.
I lift you up.
Armor.
Yeah, it's not hard for you to lift Octavius up there to where he can scramble up through the hole. Okay. So once your upper torso is through, and I'm going to give you the description before I say anything else, because you'd see it all before you got up there, so you can, in case you decide to change your mind. Not that you will, of course. All right, so the attic.
And Reebos.
The attic is rather barren of furnishings and otherwise choked with dust and cobwebs. There are a few random piles of clutter, but nothing of much significance. At the far end of the room is the only attic's window, which is open inwards, and sitting in a single chair, rocking backwards and forwards with his hands like this, is young Felix.
Yep, perfectly normal.
Okay.
Do you wish to continue up into the
I
attic?
do. Yeah.
Okay.
As soon as he's clear, I'm going to ask to also be brought up so I can help out in any way.
Alrighty. I'm just going to go ahead and reveal.
I'll be your ladder, guys. I'll lift you all up there.
Whip, whip, and then he gets
Even the
Darius, so
dog?
it's just like,
There you go.
I'd probably leave the dog down below.
And let me move
come
Felix
on.
to where he belongs.
just chuck him.
Get in your chair, Felix.
Got a lot of loose skin, It's nice and easy to get a grip
Yeah,
on
just
and
grab him by the scruff and just.
Okay.
Dogs love that. Full-grown dogs.
So
love
you
these.
kind of like
Honestly.
are pulled up, or pull yourself up into the chamber. And once you're up there, Felix is just kind of, as I said, he's sitting there rocking, and he's very smiley. He kind of like looks at you with a grin and goes, "Get out!"
Ooh, that's a curse boy. That is a curse
Okay.
boy.
Who was coming up next?
Trip.
Trip.
Okay. I would say that Trip, you would be able to get up in the next round with the aid of big people.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What do you guys want to do? So yeah, Octavius, We'll go in kind of common sense order at this point. Trip is coming up through the hole. You've just been told to get out. What would you like to do?
Hello, my sweet darling Felix.
Hold on, Pat. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you.
You got a bardic inspiration.
Okay. I'll slowly start like inching my way forward.
Okay. Do you have bardic inspiration to populate for chat?
I can do that.
Just so they can see what it means.
Class, skills, boom, bardic inspiration used. There it goes.
Okay. At this point, the light coming from the attic's far window seems to dim of its own accord, suppressed by an unnaturally dark shadow that drifts in through the windows and lays itself like an impenetrable shadow upon the floor. At that point, Felix kind of says, "Should have listened." And then he goes and slumps forward out of the chair, collapses on the ground. In reaction to that, what would you like to do, Octavius?
I think I'd run up there.
Okay.
And see if he's okay.
Oh, you dumbass kid.
That's what he would do.
Hey,
I know. It's great.
you can get all the way over to him.
Yeah, I would check on him.
All right.
Felix.
I'd be helping people up.
Your
Yeah,
okay.
Gemma would be next time.
So you're going to spend your basically your move and action pulling Gemma up. Okay, cool.
Trying to hasten the
Okay.
party togetherness.
Okay, at the top of the room then. You run over to the boy. As I said, he's kind of slumped on all fours, like on the ground, and he's like shivering and like convulsing in very sudden and sporadic, kind of rapid movements.
Okay, with that, now that I'm closer and kind of get a little more like, that'll just see him go down. Would this tip me off to, because again, my background is in the occult and possessions and things like that. Would that tip me off to maybe something else going on, or?
Let me just do a thing here.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I would say, you could give me a history check.
History, okay.
Make some room here on my other screen. And
Nice.
17. Okay. I mean, there is certainly nothing ironclad, but what are you thinking might be going on?
Yeah, well, because so I started to put the pieces together. The person who was like that was definitely not the kid that I talked to earlier. At least it doesn't seem like it. And now, now with all this going on, I'm like, oh, this isn't normal, I guess. So I think he wouldn't like run away, but I think he would hesitantly take a few steps back.
Okay.
And get ready to draw his weapon in case something happens, because there's nothing, I don't have any healing, or that's not really what I'm built for. So I think I would just start, guys, something is wrong with Felix.
Yeah, with the 17, I think it's fair to assume, especially with the dark shadows kind of like falling in and around him and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Your gut will tell you something definitively supernatural is going on. That would be
so
fair.
I think the gut would make me just almost instinctively take just a few steps backwards. Again, not retreating, but like, this isn't good.
As you do so, Gemma is pulled up, and suddenly he's like, and looks up with a contorted face, and he says, "Mortal ants, I have seen the shadows of the great powers moving through the dark seas around this sphere. Your paltry magics are nothing to me." And then Felix goes and vomits what just appears to be like black ash and shadow, just starts to hit the floor and spew everywhere.
Oh, gross.
Okay. So Gemma and Trip.
I just keep thinking this is from Evil Dead. Like,
I would say it's definitively kind
and
of.
I've seen one in the sporting goods section of your local S-Mart. Shop smart. as smart. Like, yeah.
Are you continuing? Are you kids
I don't
continuing to
think
pull
Douglas
up any
is getting-
adults, or?
I don't think Douglas is getting up without help.
Oh, I'm helping.
Yeah, if I can get up there, especially if I can hear what's happening, I'm
Oh yeah, you'll
I'm
hear
gonna
it.
try to
So
scramble to get to my children.
okay, in that case, then if Seth is going to basically give you the old bunk up, and Trip will pull you. Oh,
Yeah.
I was moving you where you need to be.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right. We'll get you. That'll kind of get you to the top of the trapdoor.
Okay.
Okay. Gemma, did you wish to do anything? I mean, because Trip is kind of occupied in pulling, while Seth is occupied in pushing, and Douglas is occupied in being pushed and pulled. But you still potentially could do something. So.
I'd love to do something. Ooh. Okay. I'm going to cast a spell that is kind of new for me, so curious how it's gonna go.
Okay.
So I reach my hand out and go, you're gonna be okay. Sorry about this. And I'm casting Mind Spike. Oh, horrible damage. Mind Spike.
Okay, you reach into the mind of one of the creatures you can see within range. The target must make a wisdom saving throw or take 3d8 psychic damage on a failed save. Fucking love it. Okay, so DC 14.
Yeah.
Small children don't generally have a whole lot of wisdom save.
Or HP.
Whoa,
No.
okay.
That would be a 1.
Dumbass kids.
So the good news is Felix fails miserably. The bad news is Felix takes 6 points of psychic damage as the small boy screams in utter agony as the black ash continues to vomit out of his floor. At that point, Felix kind of like slumps over on the ground, quite possibly dead.
Oh my
Yes!
But
Happy Halloween, motherfuckers!
all of the black ash and shadow begin to swirl and slowly begin to take form and shape. Now I think initiatives are in order.
Oh my god.
So let's do that.
That puts Gemma in the lead for most children murdered.
All right, yeah, let's get the initiatives. All right, so we've got.
Ooh,
We have Doug on a 19.
nice roll.
We have Trip on a
Yeah.
19.
You, on the other hand,
Yeah.
We have.
you're downstairs. You can't
Oh,
do
you're-
anything.
yeah, you're
I don't know what's
16.
going on. I didn't know that Gemma just murdered a little child.
Seth on a 2, and we need a roll for Gemma.
Oh, right.
She's too busy being
Alright, so
traumatized
too
by
bad.
it.
Yeah, exactly.
Kid killer.
15.
Okay. Gemma 15, and I will make a dice roll for it. Alrighty, and it's going on. Okay. Good deal. Okay, with all that being said, so Douglas, you are pretty hefty and strong. You might be able to jump up and grab and pull yourself up.
Yeah.
You might not. Unless anybody wishes to use their action to aid you.
Well, I'm already sort of being lifted up by Trip. I mean, how much more do I have to
I
go
was
at that
already
point?
helping him up.
So this,
Yeah.
in that round, you're up. So you're now
Yeah.
officially you've just gotten up.
Okay.
So you're in the room. So I mean, if you wanted to reach down and help Douglas up, you could, if that's what you want to do on your turn.
You mean
Seth.
Seth?
Seth,
You mean
sorry.
Seth.
Yeah.
Okay, I was
Seth.
like, what are you saying? okay. Yeah. But
Or
I
you can
see
leave him
this-
to his own devices if that's what you prefer.
Yes.
I mean,
Well,
you do. Yeah.
Yeah, I see this big giant cloud of doom about to approach my son.
Well, approach your son is a relative term. I mean,
Yes, I see that happening.
It's still kind of sort of turning into a thing about here. It hasn't really made a direction other than round and round and round, but...
I got it. Yeah, I am going to run up
Octavius is
to
dangerously close.
my sweet boy,
Okay.
Octavius. I'm going to push him out of the way.
Okay.
And you let me know if I can also do a spell. I don't know if that is too many
well, your move
actions
action would be
needed.
over there, and then if you're going to push him out of the way, that's really your action.
Well, it's to touch him. I need to touch him anyway, so it's
then
more
I
of
would
a-
allow you to put
a
the two
touch and
together
a-
for sure.
Okay, that's what I'm doing. So I am casting protection from evil on my sweet boy.
Okay.
Aww.
And he also has bardic inspiration as well, so...
Yes. There it is for chat. And I say, "Not my boy," and I'm going to just push him far away.
Aberrations, celestials, elementals, fiends, fae, and undead.
Yes.
Okay.
That's that.
Assuming it's one of those, and
Assuming.
odds are it is, can't be charmed, can't be frightened, and as it has disadvantage on attacks against him.
I don't know where it is in relation in the room since there's not really a token
like
for it, but
right
I basically want
here.
to be. I want to be between it and him. So
you kind of push
however I
him to
need to
here
be-
maybe, and
yes.
then you'd be like here.
I am using my body to shield him
Okay.
so that if it's going anywhere, it's not going to him.
Alrighty. Trip. What do you want to do?
I'm just initially going to reach down to try and help Seth up because I
Okay,
don't
so
know
you're
how
going
to
to
fight
use your
without him.
action to
Yeah.
aid the Seth.
Yeah, so that he can get up here and basically lickety split and
Okay.
maybe do something.
Octavius, as your foolish father wedges himself between you and your prey. What do you want to do?
I mean, there's nothing to get right now, right? I think I would just.
It's whatever it is very kind of insubstantial and corporeal.
Yeah. I think I would just. I have my Crimson Right activated because that's how so I think I'm at this point I'm pulling my weapon.
Okay.
And it shines with this holy light as I unsheath it. And I think I'm just I'm gonna step in front of my father and push him back and say, "Keep your distance, father.
No,
Keep
wait,
your distance,
get out."
father. You don't know what sort of evil this could be.
I don't want it to take you.
Don't worry. It will need the strength of 50,000 horses in order to pull me away from my mortal coil.
Okay.
Who's been
No.
teaching him numbers?
Okay.
So I think we're both jostling each other almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gemma. Do you
I
wish to do anything else?
stare in horror at what I think I may have done as
Okay.
the black smoke forms. I'm not going to do anything this turn yet, just kind of processing. And I go, oh shit.
Oh god.
Okay,
Oh god.
That's my turn.
The form has merged into
Ooh.
something hideous.
Cool.
It appears as a mass made of black smoke that takes on a vague, elongated form with arms, legs, and a head. The shadowy form is only semi-corporeal and seems to move insubstantially, almost like that of a ghost. Moments of glimpses allow, as it turns its head, you catch little rays of deep, radiant red inside its eye sockets. But again, they're obviously not solid in any way, shape, or form. Yeah. I would say, Octavius, seeing as you only technically drew your weapon and haven't really moved, you still have an action readied. I know you didn't specify, but
That's what I meant by drawing my sword.
but I'm assuming. Yeah, I'm going to say I'm reading between the lines. I'm assuming
Yes.
you were on the ready if you needed to leap into action. So if you choose to, I would be fine with you taking an action at this point.
Yeah, I think just again at first, I'm trying to play him still like how he would be played. So I think he would just, seeing this thing, I think he would just take a swipe at it. Just swinging the sword just to see what happens.
Okay.
More out of fear than anything.
Give it a swipe.
All right. Type normal.
Okay, you swish your rapier. It sort of finds purchase and sort of does not, in the fact that there's resistance when you hit the form, but with it being somewhat corporeal, there's nothing really for it to stick in, so it kind of goes all the way through. But momentarily, there are definitely some indentations, and little bits of the mist kind of dissipate and fall away. What sort of damage does it do? So it's
4 holy damage as well.
Okay, so 12 piercing and 4
radiant
damage. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So okay. So I'm like, all right. I okay. Yeah. He knows what to do now.
All right. Cool. Seth, you are now complete and up to the top, and technically now everybody is in the mix.
Yeah, I get to the top, see that thing, and immediately go back down. I gotta protect whiskey, you know. Whiskey's scared.
Alrighty. So, with the thing at the top of the stairs now being complete, Douglas, the thing has kind of like materialized. Your young boy leaps forward and slashes at it. As an instinct, it kind of looks down to see where the impact was, and then like its head whips around, like doesn't really turn its head, it just repositions the shadow, which is kind of weird and scary. And then you notice that the 2 red beams kind of narrow and then point kind of down, focusing on Octavius. What would you like to do, Douglas?
As he does that, I'm going to kind of just instinctively stumble back a bit from him, just so I'm
Father.
right back here, and then I'm going to pop a shot.
Pop a squat. Okay.
Pop a little shotty shot. Here we go. Cool.
Okay, the arrow misses the smoky creature and in the wall on the other side.
Love it. Love that for me.
Trip.
Crack shot, Father.
A spider falls.
He scared me with his creepy moving head.
It is a creepy movie head, I agree.
So I'm up then. I'm seeing this thing, thinking it could try and turn invisible at any moment, because it looks like the kind of thing that could do that. I have a spell that stops that from happening, so you're basically just going to see Trip wave his hands a little bit and be like, it's Envir, and then casting Fairy Fire on this guy.
Okay.
And I'll just put the whole macro out. He's got a DC 15 dex, this thing.
Fairy Fire.
Just hope it works, because if it works, that's a fun time.
And I think Fairy Fire. No, that's way too big. Way too big! That's good enough. Okay. Alright. So yeah, basically, he begins to illuminate in a kind of moody, strange, kind of prismatic-y purpleness, which isn't quite what you remember your Fairy Fire being before.
Yeah, it's usually all like kind of like greenish yellow, kind of flickery.
Yeah.
I put a lot of time into the color. I was very fond of it.
This accursed place. Twists and turns, everything. Okay.
I hate it here.
Good deal. Octavius.
Okay, so yeah, I am. Since I swiped at this thing and it didn't really feel, excuse me, didn't really feel like I hit purchase with it. I am going to use my blood curse, and I have blood curse of exposure.
Ooh.
And I'm going, yeah, that's right.
I've never seen anything so rude.
Expose you.
Expose yourself. Okay, so when a creature you see within 30 feet of you takes damage from an attack or spell, you can use a reaction to remove any damage resistances dealt by the triggering attack spell, including the trigger, blah, blah, blah. This lasts until the end of the turn. Okay. So it hasn't taken any damage yet this turn.
Okay, so I should cast that after I hit it. If I hit it, I should say.
In an
That would
ideal
make more
world,
sense.
yes.
Okay, so then I'm going to swing, and that's what I'll do.
Now,
if
it doesn't mean you can't cast it, because if you hit it, it can then still come into play, or if somebody else hits it, it can still come into play.
Yeah, I don't think I can, though, because I have to... It's a reaction after I see it take damage.
Oh, okay.
I guess I could... Yeah, but I didn't use it on my first turn.
Jack. That was very kind of you. Thank you for
So-
providing a gifted sub.
Oh, thank you.
Take your pants off there, Mr. Gambit. Gifted a sub by Prepperjack. Thank you. Yeah, if it is a reaction, then it would kind of have to be in reaction to it doing. So,
Yeah,
okay.
So I'm in
We
fairness.
just populated.
So stab it
so
first.
that we know it's yeah.
Stab it
I'll try
first.
to- I'll try to hit
Oh,
it
also
first.
you have advantage.
Oi, I do?
Yeah, he's got fairy fire on, baby.
Yeah, so it gives you
Oh,
advantage to
thank
hit.
God. Good call. Oof.
And that was a good call, because the first one wouldn't have hit, but the second one does.
Nice.
And don't forget you've got a
I'm
little bit of
loaded up
radiant
right now.
sting.
Oh, something.
Okay.
And so I am, Blood Curse of Exposure is
And what are you
a
applying it
reaction.
to?
Piercing damage.
The piercing damage.
Yeah.
That makes a little bit more sense than radiant, seeing as you're about the only one that can do it. So piercing is worked well for you in the past. Okay, Gemma Mildwood.
Okay, I summon a ghostly skeletal hand and try to squeeze the life out of this creature.
Ooh, chill touch. Okay.
Ooh.
See where I
Attack
am.
24 versus AC. That will hit. You will do 5 points of necrotic damage.
Undead or anything?
It is. It is not undead.
Okay, got it.
I'm afraid. Sorry, everyone. Sorry.
Can it be undead? Can we
Will you let
It's
it
just a regular dead.
It's more dead than undead. No, no, it's not a dead thingy.
I see.
It's not a dead thingy.
Yeah.
Okay, but it is whatever it is. Turn, and there's really only one target.
I have to roll a. I'm sorry. I have to roll a 1d4 here for my damage for invoking the curse.
Oh, you take 3. Okay.
Yep. So I take. So I
And you
I
die.
run the. Yeah, I'm dead. Sorry, guys. So I run my blade across my hand as well, and after I pull it out, that's when I swipe and inflict the curse upon him. So.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
How funny this would be as a first level character in first edition.
He just dies.
Okay.
Oh right.
If it dies.
Don't forget you also have protection, so you should be
Yep.
getting disadvantage
It has disadvantage to hit you.
on its.
Yes.
Yeah. Then you.
Indeed. Alright, so we'll roll for it. And it has.
It's attacking me here, Gore, I assume.
It is, yes.
Okay.
Alright, save this macro. Alright, we'll make the first attack, and we'll be rolling twice, unless it's not necessary. We will be rolling twice.
It's a miss.
That will miss. And then the second attack.
You know,
And
Hits.
so
At least
we'll
on a
be
20.
we'll be taking the 21 then.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So it will hit you with the second one.
Okay.
Basically, as it hits you, you were half expecting to kind of like feel raking claws, but instead, it feels more like it like dug deep into your soul or your psyche, and you felt part of your life essence sucked from you. 7 points of necrotic damage.
I have resistance to necrotic damage.
Then you do not take
Yes.
7, sir.
Due to my-
You
due
only
to my-
take half of that.
Yeah.
Um,
Due to my Crimson Right, the Right of the Dawn,
Awesome
that
sauce.
gives me resistance to necrotic damage.
Which is also extra cool because it was going to heal itself a portion of that. And it only gets to heal the damage that it does. So it only did that, which means it only heals that. That's not too great for it. Okay. Very nice. Yes, you are indeed the bane of such a creature, it would appear.
Yeah.
Even the shades here are vampires?
Seth, you are now at the top of the stairs. After heaving the rest of the family up there.
Seeing it engaged with Octavius, and Octavius holding his own,
I'm
I
going to
guess?
go ahead and do a thing here. Let me just put just for giggles, make sure there's no confusion. There we go. We'll put a timeout.
I did see it rake Octavius. So what I'm going to do...
You saw it kind of swipe at him, but it didn't seem to do a whole lot to him.
But, I mean, it still looks scary.
It looked like it meant
it's
to do
terrifying.
harm, for sure, yes.
So I'm going to use my movement over here to get behind it.
Okay.
And then, because I'm an idiot and I don't know any better, I'm not going to punch it, but I am going to try to grapple it. I want to try to pin its arms, even though it's a fucking shadowy, wispy thing.
Hey.
I don't know that that's what it is. I just think it's...
Give me a roll.
Right? All right, so grapple is athletics, right? My athletics versus your athletics or acrobatics, I believe.
Uh-huh.
Take that! I'm going to try to wrangle it.
Give me a willpower save, buddy.
Yeah, there we go. No, my willpower is actually wisdom, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. There you go.
What is this?
Run up to him like, I got you.
He got me!
Okay. For a moment, you see the shadowy creature kind of go and lean back and fall into Seth, like drops inside of him. Seth, you suddenly feel like this dark, powerful entity begins to like seep into your very being, and starts to wrestle for control of your mind and body. However, you've been in a very drunken state before and managed to force yourself to act sober. It's not that dissimilar from this.
Booze, baby!
So you're able to kind of fight that off and kind of expel the creature from inside you. Thus, it failed to possess you.
No, well. Okay.
Try that again. That'll be a great thing to do.
I fall against the wall, kind of like dazed, like what?
Okay, Doug.
I'm
Seeing
gonna
it almost take over your brother.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's lined up perfectly for this, too.
You're gonna kill me,
So
bro.
great.
You message kill Seth. Don't.
I'm gonna try to not aim for Seth and just hit. Do I still have advantage?
You
Yeah, he's
do,
glowing.
it's Still,
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah.
You kill me, thank you.
Even with advantage,
Cool.
I'm afraid you do not hit the
good
target.
Lord.
Yeah.
You don't hit
Like-
Seth, of course.
like-
That's
like
why you
chunk-
didn't hit it. You were trying so hard not to
Yeah,
hit
I'm
Seth.
like, I can't get the shot.
Okay,
I'm
Trip.
sorry.
Kill
I'm
me.
trying. I'm trying.
I
Taking the
need you
duration.
to set
We
this
got
up.
a minute on that. Okay.
You do as long as you don't do anything else that breaks your
It
concentration.
requires concentration, yep. Which, bard spells are surprisingly light. However, I'm just seeing this whole situation thinking, this is kind of like before. I'm gonna run up here with my rapier out, like I'm about to stab the thing, get here, and then see the dying child, and be like, oh, shit. I was not paying attention when that happened. At which point I'm going to change my plan of attack there and cast some healing words on him to try and stabilize whatever's happening to that.
Okay.
Dissonant Whispers would kill him. Healing word. There it is. It's a bonus action, no concentration. So here's that. Not great.
All right, well, that's as much damage as he took. He's not moving, but maybe it helped.
I don't know. At
Did
that
you
point,
get over
I'm
there
just
and
like,
kind of investigate? It's hard to tell, but
Yeah.
you tried.
I'm ducking under this box for now, and I'm gonna try and pop out and surprise jab. Duck.
Octavius. Excellent.
Swinging at this thing again.
Alrighty. Again, you have advantage, so
I do. Okay.
it's kind of nice.
Oh no.
Oh my
Ooh, ow.
goodness. Yikes.
This wasn't a
Wow.
failure,
Ooh, that's not a good
Sad.
double roll
but
there.
yeah, unfortunately,
the worst you could do. Well, not the
yeah,
worst.
swung out it and missed. All right, Gemma.
I'm going to hurl
On the floor.
I'm gonna hurl on the floor, and then I'm gonna hurl a magic missile
Okay.
towards it.
All right, your black tendrilled balls do 10 points of damage. Okay, as the magic missiles slam into its black misty form. Once they kind of hit it, they kind of like rattle around inside it a few times before slowly dissipating.
Okay, and I'm gonna duck behind these boxes.
I didn't do it! It will once again retaliate. Okay, it is going to move,
No.
but not far. Basically, just to kind of like reposition itself so that it doesn't have Seth at its back. Probably not really paying much attention to the fact that Trip is actually hiding behind a box right there. So, and then it will once again attack you with its claws, with disadvantage, of course.
Disadvantage. That's a miss.
So that's a miss, and the second attack also
Miss.
misses.
Wow.
All right. I'm bobbing and weaving. I do like
Alright,
a little
alright,
tiger roll
alright.
underneath one of them.
Seth,
Yes.
you want to try anything else?
No, I'm gonna default and just run up to it and try to wail on it from the side. Spend a moxie point so I get 2 bonus attacks instead of 1.
Okay,
And I'm just going to
attack with advantage.
punchy punch. If I can punchy punch.
Yeah, you hit it twice.
There you go.
Oh, there's my bonus
And then you-
attack.
All right.
Nice.
Nice.
This is like, it's like that's pretty much what you see. It doesn't look very graceful or
Nobody
effective.
gets me messed up but me.
All right. Yeah, you run over and start swiping into the mist as each fist kind of tears through it, like a little bit of a misty kind of residue, like trails behind your hand and then falls away from your hands onto the floor, as this thing certainly begins to seem to become more and more diminished. It is at this point that it seems to acknowledge that it is not doing as well as it thought it should. And it says, "Foolish mortals, you will never contain me. You do not possess that is required." And then it looks, it's like its head kind of spins around like it's doing a 360 of the area. But it is not its turn beyond that. So Douglas, what would you like to do?
Come on, Douglas.
I'm gonna shoot it, and I'm gonna hit it. Here goes. Yay!
And you do.
Yay!
And you kill Trip too.
Okay.
The arrow stopped right in its little smoky
Well,
body.
Way to go!
the thing is, it doesn't have the Uji wants it on it, so it still has
doesn't.
resistance to piercing.
Yeah.
But
Not in a minute though.
but the arrow did hit the mark, yes, and rattled through it and kind of, probably just for pause and effect, it rips through the thing, kind of like tearing a small piece of the ash and shadow from it, and then probably sticks into the edge of the crate, like literally maybe a foot from Trip, as he's standing right next to the box. But it doesn't hit him, of course. Speaking of which, Trip, what would you like to do?
I am going to cast that reaction, by the way.
Okay.
And so the blood maledict will be for piercing damage.
I love
Good
me
deal.
a blood maledict. That gives me the perfect opportunity to pop up like a little, whack-a-mole thing, and I'm just gonna,
Okay,
Give
give
him
it a
a
stab.
jab.
With advantage.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Let's see if I
Get 'em,
do
get 'em, get 'em.
anything.
Quit your pants!
I did it.
Yes,
I
yes.
voted for
You
Shaggy
did it.
and I
You
lost.
did it.
You did a thing!
What the
Natural 20!
Full last 9. Full last
But like
9.
a solid 9, though.
Like a real 9,
Yeah,
none
not
of
like
these, none of
not
these
like
fake
one of your
nines.
wimpy nines. This is like
Yeah,
a
it's not like
real...
it's not like when a girl comes up and goes like, what would you rate me? Not one of those 9s, like an actual 9 where you go
Yeah.
up to
Not
stuff.
a polite nine.
They're like,
Polite 9.
how big is it? He's like, oh, 9? Like, okay,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
so
yeah.
4.
Sure. Yeah, so for 4. A good.
There you go.
I got
Terraparty
Terrapixel.
for
Shaggy, I got you some money.
Yay.
Because you're so clever and fast, Satch. That's why I
Yeah,
voted.
I'm clever, and I did 9
All right,
damage
for
on my
9 piercing
Correct.
damage. Okay,
I'm so
level
proud.
5. Oh wait, no, 4.
you lunge forward with the rapier and kind of like slash into its form, with it having no resistance to the blow this time. With a gratifying, almost kind of like a not so hot knife through butter feel. You kind of like drag the thing through. As you do so, the two halves of the misty creature kind of like separate and slide off of each other, hit the floor, and as they do so, both of them just kind of dissipate. And there is nothing left of the creature that was
Kill, steal,
there
kill, steal.
before.
With 9 points.
With 9 points.
I love it.
I mean, theoretically, we would have had to fight twice as long without the advantage. Y'all were
Yeah.
rolling terribly.
Hey, there was some terrible rolling, but at the same time, there was some good ability use. So, hey, it all
True.
worked out rather lovely, didn't it? Good deal. Yeah, it is destroyed.
Trip is still gonna like duck back down afterwards. Like, did it work?
Did it disappear, or is it like still like a something
There's
there,
no
or
sign of anything.
it's all gone? Okay.
Yeah, it's
We
kind
would
of
see a
like
glow.
as
Yeah.
it's almost like you kind of dropped smoke on the floor. You saw it fall, it hits the floor, and then it kind of like rolls and dissipates into nothing.
What was that? I'm gonna look at Octavius.
Would I know what that was, Gore?
Give me a roll.
What do you need?
Seems like
History.
those things we fought in the what is it?
Yeah.
The
In the
Justice
house.
League?
Oh, good roll. Okay. So yeah, it reminded you of the shadowy creatures that you fought in the Durst Manor. However, those things were kind of like just undead specters. They had a will, but they didn't talk. They didn't have any kind of desires beyond that of absorbing whatever life force was around them. This seems to have certainly more intelligence. You recall the fact that it said something about it had seen the shadows of the great powers moving through the dark seas. Part of you feels like there was something kind of underlined demonic about this. Maybe not a full-blown demon within its, itself, but there was something very fiendish and sinister about this creature, beyond that of something simple and undead.
Okay. This was pure shadowy evil. It spoke of worlds that we would have no knowledge of, and no one other than demonic powers would have knowledge of. We are dealing with something that we really need to make sure we are prepared for moving forward.
Yeah, what was he talking about with, like, we don't have what we need to contain him, or do you think that's the bones? Was he talking about the bones?
How do you put something inside of bones?
Well, I mean, it was in that kid's bones. Or
Oh, the rib cage.
I'm gonna go check on the kid.
Man, I absolutely love that.
I'm also gonna
we
go
went
check.
through an entire campaign where both Matt and Christy were like, "It's a demon, it's a demon," and then we fight an actual demon, and it's not the characters who are saying it's a demon.
Do you miss it, Shaggy?
Well, I
Are you
kinda
sad?
I kind of do. I kind of miss
Sorry.
the Polarians right now. 'cause-
We can give him a call if you want.
Yeah,
They're right on the line.
They come in clutch right now.
They really would. Oh my god.
All right. Give me a medicine roll, please, if you would. Trip?
You know, you'd think I'd be better at medicine, but
You
you know,
don't have it as a proficiency, do you?
I have it as a jack of all trades. Yeah.
I mean, I could help if you want me to do it.
But like usually when I do this, it's just Seth, and Seth is fine. So you
Right.
know.
I will tell you this much: he is alive. There is a faint pulse. He is not deceased.
Oh, thank God.
What did it want with him?
Might have been an easy target. His will was probably already shattered with whatever he saw based on his conversation earlier.
Do you think he was always like that, or do you think he was after the spooky ghost got in there?
I think it's a combination of things. Kids are weird. You had 3 of them. You should know.
Yes, yeah, you're all pretty weird.
Can we help him?
Am I okay? It laid into me. I mean, I think I pushed it out, but
Do
Gemma,
you feel...
give me a perception skill roll, please.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
You're all the way up the other end of the room by yourself. Okay.
Gross.
You can hear, because you're closest to the trapdoor. A faint voice somewhere deep down in the house. You hear, "Get it off! Get it off! Get it off! Get it off me! What the?
Ah.
Help! Help! Somebody! Get it off!"
I just
Oh,
say,
shit.
family, we have trouble, and I'm gonna kind of peek my head down,
Okay.
out, like you see a head pop.
Once you kind of stick your head down to kind of like focus on where the sound is coming from, it's definitely coming from down the stairs to the ground floor by the sounds of it.
Okay, I'm gonna jump out onto the.
Okay, so you jump down.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'll rush after.
What about him? I'm just gonna pick Felix up.
Okay, you want to bring Felix with you?
I'm not gonna leave him alone.
So is everybody, am I safe to assume everybody's going downstairs?
yeah.
Okay, alright. Then let me just grab everybody. Okay. Yes, you can hear yelling and hollering coming from downstairs. It's louder now. Everyone can hear it. Oh my god! It's disgusting! Get it off of me! Get it off!
Whiskey, come on.
Alright.
I'm gonna
Alright, head
run
down, yeah.
downstairs.
Let's keep going.
Running.
Yep.
I'm just assuming it's the dog.
Yeah.
Yep. We're all going downstairs to the first floor.
Okay. Let me move you down there then. Yeah. You see the dog standing in the doorway to the living room. Go. From somewhere behind it, you can hear, "Help me! Somebody help me, please! Hello!
Whiskey,
Madame
come.
Belasco! Madame Belasco!"
push the dog out of the way, run in, I guess, with everybody.
Okay, the dog will probably bolt past all of you and through this door, which is kind of like open.
I've got the boy with me in my arms still, by the way.
Okay. He is beginning to murmur and kind of like moan a little. Starting to come round.
Okay, I'm going to put him on the couch.
Okay.
So he's rest there and then go investigate what's going on.
Okay. Once you go into this room, you can see that the previous unconscious patient appears to be less so unconscious, as Milavash is somewhat distraught to find himself tied up in his own bed, and a large hound licking all over his face, like. And once again, get it off me! It is disgusting! Help me!
Sorry, wait, Whiskey, come here, boy.
Whiskey.
Come here, come here.
Whiskey.
Come on.
You call the dog
I really
off.
like that.
He will look and... Who are you? Where are the other children? Where is Madame Blasco?
Ah, you're back.
Back? I was asleep.
You had been waylaid by some sort of awful vibe. I'm gonna start untying his ropes.
Okay. You untie him. He goes to climb out of bed and then like falls and collapses to the floor, not realizing how weak he was. I have no strength. What has happened to me? I am so thirsty. Please, get me something to drink.
Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of out of character, like everyone else, to kind of like snap and do that, and I'm just gonna start talking with him about what has happened, I guess.
Okay.
Because but like just gonna like one-on-one and be like, something affected you, as if it were invited. Some kind of evil is happening, and it seemed to think that you were an ideal target. Is there some reason for this?
I do not know. I don't recall.
I'm gonna walk up behind Trip and be like, the bones.
Yeah. I was hoping he would admit it himself.
Okay. I thought you forgot. Sorry.
No.
I'm gonna back up again.
Process.
Is it a curse? Is it St. Andrew punishing me for what I did?
It very well might be, and we need to set it right.
Oh, you have to understand. The orphanage is in dire trouble, and somebody offered me enough money to keep the orphanage afloat for at least another year. I did it to help the children. I didn't do it for me.
Right, and we're not looking to persecute you, we're looking to rid the world of evil, so if you can make peace with it yourself, we've already done that for you on our end. We need to know where they are, we need to get them back to the church.
I do not know exactly where they are now. I sold them. I sold them to a man.
Can we get a description on this man? Do you know who it is?
It was dark. He wore a black hat and long black cloak. I did not see much of his face, although there was a strange smell in the air. It smelled of... I do not know what it was, but I've smelt it before. I just do not recall where I smelt it.
Describe it a little bit, as
was it like cabbage?
No, it was a strong, musky smell, almost pungent yet somehow cleansing.
Something like a frankincense at a church, or...
Perhaps. It was indeed a sweet-smelling aroma. But other than that is all I recall. He gave me a purse of monies, and I gave him the bones. I did not think that it was even true. I assumed it was nothing but a con, a ruse, or a superstition. I even gave the money to Madame Belasco. Did not, of course, tell her where I came by the money. I lied to her.
Strange that she wouldn't ask.
Oh, she asked, but I told her I had got lucky gambling at one of the taverns. And,
That's usually my cover story, so good call.
I do not believe she believed me 100%, but in this light of the situation, I think she allowed herself to believe it because we needed the money. The children were beginning to starve.
We're going to have to find this man. Can you recall his height at all?
He was taller than I, but as I said, it was dark, and his hat was at least a foot tall. He seemed very tall, but perhaps he was not so. But, the young boy that used to work at the graveyard with me, his name is Cedric. Perhaps he recalls what the man looked like. He was hiding in the alleyway. I caught him afterwards and swore him to secrecy. But I know he saw.
He was terrified of you, actually. That's...
Cedric? But why? We were friends.
Well, you are quite a bit taller than him, and you did swear him to secrecy, of course.
I did, and I told him that if he told Madame Velasco what happened, I would beat him mercilessly. I wouldn't, of course, but I had to secure his tongue from...
Children like to tell secrets, I understand. I'm going to look at the two next to me and then back at him and just be like... However, it was unusual just how afraid of you he was. Maybe be a little easier on him for a bit.
Well...
He's a good kid.
He probably also was frightened of how much trouble we would get into if the Burgermeister found out that we had robbed the church. After all, it would make people unhappy, and all must be well here in Vallaki.
If you tell him you robbed the church with a smile, I'm sure you'd get off with a warning.
But yes, Cedric, I believe, may have got a better glimpse of him than I.
Just really
where is my water? I am so thirsty.
Whiskey, go get him water. Just really quick, how tall is the kid now that he stood up?
He's probably about 5'8", 5'9".
Okay.
I'm going to the kitchen real quick and I'm grabbing some water.
Okay. I mean, looking at him, now you can kind of see, now he's looking more himself. He's probably 17, 18 years old. He's not like a kid.
Enough to terrify a kid.
Yeah.
Okay. Does he ever put the shovel down, or is that like a birthmark?
That's just the token, dude. Just the token.
I'm going to pass up the water that I got so that he can have that.
Yeah. Okay. He starts to guzzle it greedily. And then half chokes himself and he has to stop. My throat is so dry. I've never recalled such a thirst. How long was I asleep?
40 years.
We're all the children from the orphanage.
There's Cedric now.
Seth is Cedric, yeah. Now then, about that beating.
Jeez. You'll get your strength back.
Yes. Perhaps if I can get some more restful sleep.
Maybe in a cleaner bed. This one's
kind of sweat-ridden.
Fresh up. Does you wonders. I think that's all we need here. We gotta go find the other orphans now. Where did they go to? Probably the church.
Yeah, she sent them all over to the Church of St. Andrew.
Oh, that's perfect. That's all of our ducks in a row.
The good
No
news
more
is
cursed
we know who
stuff.
stole them. The bad news
Yeah.
is I haven't got a fucking clue where they are.
No more cursed stuff. Don't do cursed
hey,
stuff anymore.
Kid, if you ever smell that familiar smell, will you tell us if you can think of, you're just
For
wandering
certain.
around and you smell it?
Yes. After all, at this point, it's clear that the bones should indeed be returned. I am lucky to be alive. This was, I'm sure, St. Andrew letting me know of his displeasure, but giving me a chance to redeem myself. After all, he is a merciful, or was a merciful deity.
Well, we'll see. You did steal bones from a church. That's pretty bad.
But I did it for a very good reason, not for wickedness or selfishness, but to save small children from starving, and after all, they were just bones.
Yeah, but
Bones are never just bones. There's
the bones were keeping the
Afterlife.
church protected.
I do.
Apparently, I mean,
I do find your lack of respect for the remains of the deceased a little odd for someone who digs graves.
When you see as many people die as I have and dig as many graves, sooner or later you come to the terms that once you are dead, you are dead. After all, we eat the deer, and what happens to the bones? They lay there and rot. Sooner or later they are picked clean by wolves and scavengers. Just because we people decide to dig a hole and bury them. To me, they are still just bones.
yeah, but these bones were keeping the church from the devil
Yes,
from getting in.
I
You see,
understand this. As I said, I did not believe that they were in fact the bones of a saint. I believed it was just one more corpse and a tale spun to appease and bolster courage amongst the parishioners of Baraki. After all, if they really were the bones of St. Andrew, why would the church not have let other people know that that's what they were? But he never let anybody know. He did not tell anybody.
There are
Kept it
some
quiet.
forces in this land that might seek out such a power, especially given the domain of the devil being so close.
Considering the bones are no longer on sacred ground, who knows where they could be at this point? You do not think that something evil or sinister has them, do you?
Well, who do you think would want to buy bones? Probably someone evil and sinister.
I thought he
Or
was
someone
little
with
more
some
than
dogs.
a traveling curio salesman. I thought it was harmless to sell him futile bones of an old dead man. Little did I know.
His manner of speaking, was it plain to Barovia, or...
He sounded like he was someone that lived in and around this area, yes.
Okay.
It was a similar accent, although he did kind of speak quiet and whispers because it was late.
Okay. And he has a soul, so we know that. This all helps. We'll have to talk with Cedric, though, because...
Please, when you see... If you go to the church, please ask for forgiveness for me. And tell the priest that I did not realize what I was doing. I truly did not mean to do the harm that I did.
You know, that's rare that you'd actually repent. Usually we just don't tell people things and but if you insist. Also, is there a way with Cedric we can? Do you have like a secret handshake or something that we can win his trust with, knowing that you actually aren't going to beat the crap out of him?
Bring him to me. I will apologize to him and tell him that I mean him no harm myself.
I don't know if we have the time to parade to the church and back again. What if we just carry you down to the church?
At this, I do not feel well, but if you think that is what needs to happen, of course.
Just gonna look at the stronger people in my family.
I know I'm fancy carrying a 17-year-old.
I think we could handle it, right, Seth? Seth, buddy.
But sorry.
Brother, you want to give me a hand here? We'll help.
Yeah.
And I can piggyback the other kid.
Perfect.
Okay. Alrighty. So you're gonna take the semi-unconscious kid and him and head back over to the church?
Yes.
Yeah. It'll be like a family reunion.
Okay. Alright. Back to this Church of St. Andrel. Okay. So yeah. By now it's kind of like early evening. There are still plenty of people roaming around the streets with their fake smiles being worn across their faces. Go ahead and swap maps for you here. Where is it? The town of Volaki. All right. Yep. You leave the orphanage and head over to the church. Upon arrival, pretty much you can see that the church is packed with people and an awful lot of children for a change. You can see Father Petrovich kind of like running around and administering to his flock as best he can. Eyes will fall upon you as you kind of like stagger through the doors with a propped up Milavash and a carried Felix. The first to kind of like acknowledge that will be Madame Belasco, as she will kind of like get up from one of the pews and hoist up her big wide hooped skirt and come ushering across towards you. Oh, Milavash, I think. Yes, Madame Velasco. I woke up just a short while ago. Why is everybody here? Oh, these, there was something not right going on at the orphanage. These fine strangers were helping us. What happened to Felix? Oh, Felix, my boy. And she kind of rushes over and he just kind of like looks up at her with a pitiful face and then kind of like just slumps and snuggles back into Douglas's arms, sort of like obviously feeling comfortable and secure.
Cedric, we need to talk to him.
And in terms of what happened, we might not want to say it too loud.
Well, I'm eager to find out what happened, but unless any of you possess the ability to speak with the dead, if you do not recall, Cedric was the boy that died.
Oh.
Cedric was the one that was found dead on the floor, looking like he had struck his head.
Oh, that's right.
I was thinking the other kid. Dang.
Yeah.
I
knew
kids
who was dead.
confused.
I thought we were gonna get to talk to him from beyond the grave. So
Oh, really,
wait to see.
Gemma?
Oh, okay. Well, sorry, honey, but we can't.
Upon
well-
hearing the sad news, Milavash will, like, his knees will give out, and if he stays standing, it's only because the two of you that are helping him are holding him up. He's just become complete dead weight as he starts to sob incoherently.
Yeah, at that, I'm going to usher him to a pew so he...
Okay. What have I done? It is my fault. I'm sure of it. I am so sorry.
Okay, well, don't make a scene here.
Father Petrovich, I did not mean to.
No, we know. It's okay.
Father Petrovich, with that, is curiously now coming over. It is okay, my boy. What happened? I am so ashamed. Oh, ashamed of what? It was I. I was the one that took the bones from the church. What? But you... But I trusted you, Milovash. I was good to you. I know, but you do not understand. The orphanage, they were starving. This man offered me such coin if I could just bring them to him. I did not believe the rumors. I thought it was just a story. Where did they take these bones, boy? Where? You must at once tell me. And he starts to shake Milavash, seemingly forgetting how frail the boy is.
We would have gone had he known.
So, he kind of like stops mid-shake and lets him go. He says, so he does not know who he sold the bones to?
Just a man in a tall black hat and cloak with a sweet, musky, pungent smell about him.
Also someone who apparently is local. At least that's what we think. He's from Vallaki.
So somebody here in town puts a boy up to it.
Who smells what?
Pungent.
Pungent. Yeah,
like,
that word.
Maybe frankincense-y, maybe winey, I'm not sure.
We need to find out who. But more concerning, who would know that I had the bones here in the first place? For I had told no one. Milavash, did you tell anybody of these bones? No, he approached me and said that there were some bones that apparently were rumored to belong to a saint, but it was not true. But he could make a pretty penny selling off the bones of a saint, piecemeal to suspicious travelers, and he offered me a purse of 20 gold crowns if I would get the bones for him, so I did. Other than the fact that he was a tall man in a dark black robe and black tall hat, I did not see much more of him than that. It was dark. As I said, there was a strange, sickly sweet smell that smelled familiar, but at the same time it had a soothing and cleansing smell. You need to rest, my boy. Yes, you rest. And with that, he will kind of, the priest will kind of like come over to you and like pull you away from the main cloister. All of you kind of collectively. With that, Father Petrovich says, so do we have any other ideas? It is imperative that we find these bones. It is even more concerning that somebody knew of their existence and paid Milavash to take them. Why would they do such a thing?
To create a weakness?
Yeah, they must have known that the bones were important, right? Who else would have known that?
Precisely. I told no one.
Well, I mean, we can tomorrow after we've rested. go throughout the town and smell people.
We could do that, yes.
The description matches a figure we once saw in the distance. A tall man in a tall cap with all black. He was in a carriage sending biddings of the devil. I feared.
Well, black hat and cloak is not a unfamiliar dress here in Vallaki. But you think that this man may have been working for the devil himself?
Who else would stand to gain something from that? So, yes.
I do not know. But the festival is in 2 days' time, and
If the thing protecting the town is gone, it's not going to be as smiley as we'd like.
oh, pity's sake, we must make sure that the Burgermeister does not find out. Or there will be hell to pay. And if not hell, there will be worse things to pay.
Well, we start Operation Sniffy, you know.
Is there a place that sells incense or cleaning supplies?
Or a market district, a place where people go to peddle goods.
We do have as an apothecary here in town.
That maybe like a morgue place where they do weird smell stuff.
Well, yes, it's
Any place you could think of that would have weird things like that.
Well,
We'll start there first before we start smelling every person in town. I think.
Well, as I say, there is Helga von Bluten, apothecary.
Okay.
Or you could go to Heinrich van der Woods. He is the coffin maker, and sometimes people pay him to prepare the bodies rather than have them done here at the church.
All right. That's all you can think of for now. I guess we'll start there and see what we can find out. All right,
Perhaps
everybody?
the smell has something to do with embalming, or it could just be something medicinal.
Those are my best guesses.
Familiar. He says it's familiar, so it's not a terrible shot, and at the very least we'll be more familiar with the town to find something else if we need to.
Okay.
All right.
I'd imagine Heinrich is close.
I can give you directions, of course. If I can find my fucking map. Sorry.
I live here. Where's my
He says that
map?
too.
Yeah. Hey, Gore, could you shutter me for 1 second?
Yeah, sure, bud.
I've been drinking water like crazy. So
Yeah, I kind of need to.
We can take a quick break. That sounds like it's a good time for it.
Break, water.
So back to talking about the smell of creepy old goods.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, Madame Velasca will pull kind of after your interaction with the good priesty man. She will pull you aside and be like, "So, the orphanage is it safe now? Do we solve the issues? Do we know what happened? The children cannot stay here, but I'm reluctant to take them back to the house."
I mean, personally, I would still suggest to get new beds.
Again, the cost is too great. The most I can do is have a carpenter come and plane the sides to remove the symbols, but...
Why don't you set up a fund during the festival in a few days? See if you can get anyone to donate.
It is this fund that keeps the children in food. Times are hard, and until very recently, when Milovash fortunately won some. Oh no! It's like the logic of reality hits her. So that's where he got some money from.
Yeah.
That poor stupid boy. He meant well, but what can you do? We should not have spared the rod with him so frequently.
I think whatever was happening is over. I wouldn't worry about it. So just go home with the kids.
But do we know what it was? Could it happen again?
Well, it was black smoke, red eyes.
The orphanage was haunted?
Yes.
Sure, yeah.
Think of it as an acute curse.
But
Do you think it was in conjunction with what happened with the bones?
Yes.
Probably.
Yeah, that's it.
But hey,
Yeah.
Trip here,
with that.
Trip here managed to slice the thing in half, and it.
Only after you punched it a
Oofed.
lot. You did punch the ghost a lot.
Well, and
haven't
Octavius did do a lot of
Oh yeah,
things to it.
Octavius and
I hit it one time too.
fancy doing things,
I see.
So we saw it.
Well, I know nothing of these things, so if you feel that it is safe, perhaps I'll have Father Petrovich go and say some cleansing prayers, and then we will return the children. Perhaps later this afternoon, or this evening at least, should I say. Before bedtime.
Yeah.
Of course, it is, quite late. Do you have a place to stay? I would welcome you to stay at the orphanage for this one night if you wish. Under the circumstances, it is the least I can do.
Didn't we get a room for some set of nights?
You do have a room for a little bit of time at least.
You know what?
The Blue Water Inn.
I'll stay there. I'll stay with you tonight to make sure everything is fine.
Ooh, Seth! I'm gonna give a little punch on the arm.
You know, just to be sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wish I knew about Mr. Whippy. I would make so many jokes.
I know what kind of whipping's going on there, yeah.
Maybe we should all stick together.
How far is the Blue Water Inn from the...
From here, the Blue Water Inn?
Blue Water is like that, isn't it?
The Blue Water Inn is kind of like right here in the center of town.
Okay. Oh yeah, it's the red one. Which is ironic.
Right here.
And then the orphanage is...
Orphanage is over here.
Yeah, across the...
The church is here.
Yeah, that's too far in case of an emergency. Oh. That's like nearly 2,000 feet.
I think we should all stick together. So
I think we've done enough of splitting our family up during an emergency, so
yes.
what if we just stay with the kids?
Yeah, so you all just want to stay here the night?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that won't be a problem. Anything else you wish to talk about, discuss, or otherwise converse with Madame Belasco about then, I guess? While you're here.
I guess we're just gonna make sure everything is returned to some form of normalcy, whatever that is.
Okay. then Milavash obviously is going to do his best to rest, as is Felix. There's kind of an uneasy feeling in the establishment. The kids are not really settling. But then, considering all the things that have been going on, it's hardly surprising.
Anyone having like very obvious nightmares through the night?
If you're being mindful for that,
yeah, I would be. I mean, I
there are a few kids that are kind of like waking up and complaining that they can't sleep and that they're scared and things like that, but nothing that really strikes you as altogether sinister.
Okay. Cool.
So if that's what you're going to do, nothing else bad will happen. You'll all get a good night's rest.
Okay.
In the morning, you'll be greeted to a pretty decent breakfast under the circumstances. The cook puts a little extra effort into making sure that y'all have a decent meal, as it were. What are your thoughts? Where do you wish to go this morning? You had a couple of ideas last night, but...
Yeah. Apothecary's one of them, right?
Yeah, do you want to do the apothecary or
the apothecary is not that far away from here. It's here.
Yeah, I think whatever's closest.
She can give you a direction for the apothecary. And if you're also asking where the coffin maker's shop is, it's all the way down here.
All right. Then we'll start.
Seems like a foolish way to run business so far from the graveyard in town.
Yeah, right?
Hey, not if you're charging people to escort the coffins.
Oh, it's a racket. I don't trust him. We should check him out.
Right?
All right, so you want to go to the apothecary?
Yep.
Yep.
Alrighty.
Very least, we can pick up some supplies.
Okie dokie. So you head down to the apothecaries. Upon arrival, you walk into a fairly large but ill-maintained building. Sitting behind a counter that is probably getting close to as old as she is a woman who's probably in her 60s at the first guess. Behind her are a plethora of jars and containers, and hanging from hooks all above her are dried flowers and herbs and a manner of other things. Underneath, unlike a glass-fronted case, which is somewhat dusty and dirty and hasn't been cleaned in forever, are various different little bottles of different colors and sizes with various different labels claiming to be tinctures and salves and other things. As you walk in, she'll smile and she says, "Oh, welcome to Helga van Bluten's apothecary. What can I do for you?"
So I'm immediately going to stop and kind of hold out my arms if anyone's behind me.
"I have just the thing." She goes straight underneath and pulls out a large jar. "Try this," and she thrusts it towards Seth.
What? Why are you? What is this?
She goes, "Well, isn't it obvious? Van Bluten's hair tonic. Slap some of this on your balding head, and you will grow a thick mane of hair in no time."
Whoa! I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm bald by choice.
Why ever would you do such a thing?
No one ever chooses that.
It's cold. Why would you want your head to be cold?
No one can grab your head and...
What he said.
It's a fighting thing. He's a brawler.
No one's ever done that to me before. Not since
no one would want to
child.
fight an old lady. I mean, not an old. I mean, a lady.
Such a beautiful woman such as yourself. I got you, bud.
Flattery will get you nowhere. I know I'm old, but I am also wise beyond my years.
Are you also married, perchance?
That's very forward.
Well, are you?
Not anymore. My husband has an passed away quietly in his sleep a few years ago. I have been single ever since.
So not recently you saw him wandering around the streets wanting bones.
What?
Sir.
I have another thing that you might need. Here, this will calm your troubled mind.
Is it alcohol?
I have some of that too.
Trip, you know me way too well, man. We don't need.
Did we bring the kid with us?
No, not unless you said. No one said you were.
Okay.
So.
I don't think so. I think he's still recovering.
Yeah, Gemma, we don't need to smell her. It's clearly not her.
Speaking of smells, there is definitely a interesting variety of aromas wafting around in this place.
I mean, did the kid say it was a man that was approached him?
Yeah, it's a man taller than himself, so quite tall.
Hey, ma'am, do you have an assistant or a worker who frequents this place and helps you out?
I do not. Sometimes I pay some of the woodsmen for any herbs that they bring back, but most of them I find and collect myself.
Resourceful.
Well, I have been on my own for a very long time. I have to take care of myself. No one else will do it for you, you know this. All will be well, they say. All will be well. Oh, the bloody...
All right, well, how much for the mind medicine?
Oh, the elixir to ease the troubled mind? 10 pennies to you.
Yeah, I'm going to give it 11 pennies and purchase it.
Yes. See? You should start taking this. Maybe you'll be able to count better.
So it's an edible or suppository? Or...
Sure.
Which one? I mean, do I do both or one a day? I mean, what's...
It is probably best if you put a few drops in a nice cup of tea and drink it at bedtime.
Okay, so a few drops in some beer. Got it, okay.
I don't know about beer. I don't suppose it would have any adverse effect with alcohol. Sure, why not?
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna back up awkwardly.
So, what can I get the rest of you?
I'm gonna kind of lean over to Gemma and just be like, it's kind of like if you and I had a baby who was way older than us.
No. Yeah, don't say that type of
Yeah, I don't know.
stuff.
No. You know, like it's a weird combination thing happening is what I mean.
I don't think she's anything like me. You don't seem like me at all, ma'am.
Well, other than the fact I am 62 years old and you look like you're perhaps 12, no.
I'm 19.
Very small.
Well, what do you have for wizards?
For wizards? All manner of things. Lots of delicious ingredients. What would you like?
Do you have healing potions?
Yes, absolutely I do. Here we are. Tonics for aught that ails you. These are good against diseases, poisons, great on wounds, bites, stings, bruises, for all these things.
I examined it to see if it looks like a generic health type potion. See if I believe her.
Give me, you can either make a medicine roll or I would allow a nature check if you're particularly astute in such things.
Okay. Not super. 15?
Let's see. For nature.
Mm-hmm.
There are familiar smells and things, and it has a taste. There are definitely some medicinal type herbs in here.
Mm-hmm.
From a nature standpoint, whether it's quite a magical healing potion or not, you don't really know. But from a nature standpoint, it's certainly not made up of, yak's piss and mule's vomit or anything like that. So, Those things cost extra.
Ew.
So, yeah. She'll sell those to you for 10 pennies. As well.
Pennies. Should we get these? Turn around to my family.
Sure. If you think that we need them.
I trust your judgment. You're the smart one.
I think it'd be nice to have a few backups just in case, you know.
Yeah, you can't hurt. Good job. A good price. You say?
What if we do one for each of us? 5. So that would be 5 silver.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
But
how about since I'm buying 5, we get a discount of 1.
I'll give you
5
6.
4 get 1 free.
Yes, I'll give you 6 if you buy 5.
Huh. Okay. Yeah, I'll hand her 5 silver.
Okay, is there anything else that you would like? Anything that strikes your fancy?
Don't think so.
Yeah, I'll peruse the shop real quick to see if anything does strike my fancy.
Give me a perception skill roll.
Okay. Hopefully I do okay. It's just my expertise. I have high hopes for me. Hey, that's pretty good.
Well, you do notice at the back of one of her shelves a rather kind of dusky and very, very kind of tarnished vial that as you kind of like rub off of the label to where you can read it, claims to be something known as Greek fire.
Oh, like a bomb.
Yeah.
How much is this one?
Alchemist fire is what it actually says it is.
Okay.
What is it? What have you got there?
I'm gonna cast distort value on it.
Okay.
It literally says snake oil. Please relabel, but I think I could do that.
Okay.
Spell book. This is why I got the spell, so I can get shit for free, maybe.
All right.
That's so funny.
So you want to reduce its
DC.
perceived value by at least half.
Yeah, it didn't populate the DC. It's my bard DC. The saving throw was int, I think. I don't know why I didn't roll it. Here, I'll add it. That's fine. That's saving throw.
Okay, well, I'm going to say she's
Yeah,
not going
it's a
to
15.
examine it.
Okay.
She's not going to bother to examine it. So she kind of squints. Not entirely sure what that is. 5 pennies.
It's covered in dust. Sounds
5
fair.
pennies.
Yeah, absolutely. It was like free bottle, you know.
Okay.
No, I'll pay to that.
So you pay her 5 pennies. How are you paying her for the 6 potions? What are you
I
giving?
gave her 5 silver.
Okay, she. Oh, thank
I
you.
think is 10. I think that's what she requested, right?
No, that's gonna be
Is
like
it 10 pennies?
triple whatever.
10 pennies.
Does that not mean copper?
Yes, it's copper.
Okay, is 10 copper 1 silver?
Sure.
The conversion was
So mean.
It's different in every system.
Oh god.
It's certainly not that much.
What is it here?
I think it's 20 copper for 1 silver, right?
Oh.
Or no, I actually don't
I
remember.
thought it was 10.
Whatever.
Jane, just Google it. He won't know.
No, I do know.
No, he won't know if she
I'm thinking Warhammer at the
Stall.
moment.
Hey, stall.
1 silver equals 10 copper and 5 each.
It does.
Okay, great. So 5 potions, 10 copper each.
Okay, but
5
you're
silver.
giving her. You are paying her in silver.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. She's
Yeah.
like, "Ooh, thank you." And she eagerly takes it and doesn't put it in her till. She puts it in her purse, like in her apron.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I'll take the 6. I'm gonna dish out the potions, 1 to each, and I'll keep 2 of them.
Okay.
Since we have an extra.
So, everybody put down a potion for what ails ye.
I see.
And then I will know what it is.
Okay. Let's see what happens with that.
Okay.
And I got
Use
a
it in some vital
mindfucker
moment.
suppository, or what was the other thing that I bought? The mind.
You bought a elixir to calm the mind.
How many doses? Just
If you're going to ask her, she says there's probably about half a dozen doses in there.
all right.
Enough, like, enough drops to do it 5 or 6 times.
I'll take an acid after tonight,
Acid! Well, anything else I can get you? I have a vast selection of things here,
I might actually want to stock up on some supplies for like spells. Most of mine don't require materials. Bane requires a drop of blood, which I'd have to do fresh.
Well, that's easy enough.
Yeah.
Octavius is always pricking himself for reasons.
And actually, nope. None of my other spells require a component, so I'm good. My bag of tricks is empty. That's the trick. I'm always tricking.
Trixie.
But yeah, I don't have any other reason to be here.
Nobody else then?
No.
You sure? Anybody have a tummy ache? Anyone want to grow facial hair?
I think we're done here.
No, I'm
Facial hair for
fine.
this one, I'm pointing at Octavius. I think he wants that.
I can definitely sell you some beard growth ointment.
Ooh.
I mean, that wouldn't.
It will massage and exfoliate the skin and the hair follicles and get them to growing far sooner than puberty.
I'll pay that for my
we
nephew.
can grind up our own snail shells, guys. We can grind up our own snail
No,
shells.
I got this. How much?
5 pennies.
All right, I'll give you 10. Just
Very excellent, thank you.
What the hell?
That's a whole silver.
Do you have a silver? Do you happen to have silver?
I do.
I'll have silver then, please.
I'll take the 10 back if it's silver.
Thank
You
you.
can sell silver coins as good luck charms here.
Excellent.
Yes.
Silver's worth more here, isn't it?
I'm gonna hand the hair growth to Octavius and be like, use it liberally.
You will notice that nobody has ever given you any change or anything in silver. Everybody has pretty much been charging everything in pennies or gold.
Oh.
Nobody has charged you in silver pieces for anything. I.e., yes, to say 10 pennies would normally be 1 silver. Back home, that's exactly what it would have been, but not here. Here, everybody is asking for pennies.
Because the silver gets melted down into swords and things. Whoops. Right, onto the weird coffin guy across town.
Yeah, we're gonna head to the coffin guy. We're gonna depart.
That was fun.
The halfling needs a beard. Does he become a dwarf? Do you get new stats? Do we roll?
They're all good questions.
Hey, who knows? Who knows what it might do to you?
You rub it on and just like 4 other heads pop up and
Okay,
each more
well,
indistinguishable than the last.
if anybody decides you need anything else, anyone want to grow any taller? I've got some ointment and grow bags
Octavius
for
does.
that.
Nah, we should.
Special kits, in fact.
Thank
No,
you.
we're good. Thank you.
Are you sure?
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. I'm just gonna walk out.
Okay. Well, you walk out with your plethora selections of interesting elixirs and ointments. Yeah, what do you want to do from there?
Cry.
We're gonna head to the coffin maker. Crossed out.
Alrighty. And down the street you go. And that is probably a nice, neat, and tidy place for us to finish off this evening.
Yeah, but here. Just get that a measure. Ah, dagnabbit. Well, time for a beer. Glug, 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 glug. Oh, hello there. It's me, Christy, your D&D dad. I'm here to do all the things that a good D&D dad should do. Like mow the lawn, fix some shit, drink a beer, and of course, roll lots of 20s. And if you like all this, can you pan?
Oh, sorry, Dad. Sorry. Yeah, you look good. Yeah.
You should check me out on Instagram and Twitter at Christastics. And if you like D&D content, check out my podcast, New Crits on the Block. Anyway, I love you, my children.
If you're seeing this, that means that I'm back to playing Mondays on How Reroll. My handle is Satchmo on all platforms, and if you follow me, then maybe I can...
We've been trying to reach you concerning your car's extended warranty.
Nothing! Hi, is this my local zoologist? Yes, I'll hold. Hi, local zoologist. Yes, my name is Jane Ivana, and I'm looking for a snake that has a stinger. Yes. I'll hold. You don't have any? Alright, well, if you could look into it, you can contact me on Twitter at Jane on Twitch, that's with the 0. Anytime. Yeah, or you could catch me on my Twitch streams. I stream like once a week on twitch.tv/JaneIvana. Alright, I'll hold. Okay, thank you. Goodbye, local zoologist.
Hey everyone, it's the Snuggler. This year, Jane asked us to go quick on our outros, so I promise I'll go as fast as possible. You're just gonna put all my information on text on the screen, aren't you? Son of a...
Hey, twitch.tv/Shagget here, and I'm trapped in Barovia. I'm hiding in a dingy basement with some art, the art dingy basement, nothing like what you usually see on my webcam when I do streams on How We Roll. And I'm not hiding from Strahd, believe it or not. He's a pushy Dracula knockoff. He doesn't scare me, I'm not afraid of him. I'm actually hiding from Gorebad, my dungeon master. He's out to kill me. I think finally surviving in 10 campaigns in Arconis throughout his stories, he's snapped because of it. And because of that, he's out to really kill me this time. Contact me at @neb_convos on Twitter, please. Your support will help keep me alive, keep me on the run, keep my hope alive. I really need to see what happens to Radovan, Emlyn, and Alekma, and all my other characters that I've played. I really need to see what happens to them. I'm very curious. Oh shit, I messed up. I really messed up. I think he heard me. He's coming. See ya!
Hi there, I'm Gorebad, and thank you for watching How We Roll. If you'd like to keep up with us when we're not live on Twitch, you can check out our other forms of social media. Follow us on Twitter, @HowWeRoll. You can also follow our Facebook page. You can find the website at www.howweroll.com, and you can also find us on YouTube at, you've guessed it, How We Roll, for an absolute ton of additional content. Also, you can follow the dmblog.com for some DM tips, world building guides, and all things D&D related. Cheers, guys. That was a long walk. Okay, They said Shagget was somewhere here, and the door to where he's hiding was a blue door. So we gotta find a blue door, blue door, blue door, blue door. Blue door. You're mine now, Shagget.